Gotta put a little air in the tire. And I gotta put my layoff plows on. But it started, it wasn't a whole lot of problem. It's got a little bit of bad fuel left in it, I believe. I put some fresh in there now. Let it warm up a few minutes. We'll go try it out. Ain't too low. We gotta get some air in it pretty quick. Hey gang, welcome back. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's a beautiful sunshiny day here, and it's about to get warm enough I can take this sweatshirt off. We got some planting to do, some early spring planting. I've done a little work over here in the garden. I'll bring y'all along with me. We'll do a little bit more. I'll show you here now what we've got to plant. Oh yeah, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Y'all don't forget that thumbs up. That helps us a lot. I used to like looking at my analytics about the channel, how much it had been growing. But for a good while now, it hadn't been growing. But we've been declining. I've lost more subscribers in the last 3 days than I ever gained in 3 days. I think I've lost around 40 or 50 subscribers in the last 3 days. It's YouTube doing some kind of crazy mess like YouTube does. So if y'all would just take a second and look, make sure you're still subscribed. And if you're not, please hit the subscribe button. But anyway, that's just the way things are. I'm going to show you what we've got here that we're going to try to get planted. Right here, this is broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Now, I've never had any luck with Brussels sprouts. And I think I'm a little late on them, so they may not do any good. The broccoli I should get something out of. And these over here is cabbage. Them's late flat Dutch cabbage. Or early flat Dutch. And it's going to be a little iffy on them. They're so small, but I had so much trouble getting seeds started. Now this here, this is the first time I've ever grown any of this. That's celery. That's the first time I've grown it. This here is a different kind of cabbage. Then I've got some lettuce. This is lettuce. And there's supposed to be some dill in here. I'm not positive if that's dill or not. I really don't think it is. There may be one here. Yeah, right there's some dill. This thing here, that's not dill. Right there's some right here. I don't know what them was, just something that came up in there with it. So we've got one little sprig of dill. So maybe we can, no, there may be two. I believe there's two of them there. And then this here is some lettuce of ours that I saved the seed out of. And then this right here is a lot of our potato seeds that we've kept from last year. I'm not going to buy any potatoes. We're just going to plant these that we had ourselves, the seed potatoes. And I've got some more. I'm going to see how many this does. I'm not going to plant as many potatoes as I've been planting. I've got a lot in jars that we've canned that we hadn't eaten. So probably about 30 pounds of potatoes is what we're going to be planting. And like I said, I've got some more down here. That's a different variety. These here are red potatoes. And the ones, other ones I've got is our white potatoes. That we've been growing them for 5 or 6 years. I've been saving the seed potatoes from one year to the next. So anyway, let's get the little tractor and get out here and see what we can do. I'm going to lay off some rows with the tractor. Alright, we got our 2 rows laid off. Now what I've done is I scooted down here far enough to where I can get my tiller through here beside this row. Right over here is our strawberries, all right up through here, and I don't want to get into them with my tiller, so that's why I scooted down this way some. Now this row here really wouldn't have to be this deep, but I just laid it off with the tractor to where I can keep them plowed with the tractor. This one over here will be our potato row, and I'm going to go back through it and clean it out a little bit more. It's not really as deep as I wanted it. This one looks better for the potatoes, but I need them down this way. The reason I'm wanting them down to the right further is because of these strawberries over here. Them potatoes will get so growed up that I won't be able to work them good over here next to the strawberries. So I'm needing them down this way just a little bit further. So now what I'm gonna do is throw fertilizer in these 2 rows and run back through it again with the tractor to mix the fertilizer in. How y'all like my big hat? Now, I'm using 15 granulated fertilizer. That's normally what I use on most everything. And I had to change hats. My other hat has gotten old and it was stretched out and it was sinking down on my head like a 10-gallon hat. That's about how much fertilizer I put in my rows starting with. And later on the potatoes, I'll add more fertilizer to them a little later on. This up here is where our other plants are going to be. And I'm not putting hardly as much fertilizer under them as I am the potatoes. I'm thinking that gardening really is going to have to try to make a comeback. Farming and gardening in general. I mean, have you seen the price of eggs lately? And I've seen predictions for the future of them, and they're about 30% higher than they are now. The futures, just a few weeks ago when I was looking, they're predicted up to $10 a dozen. And in some places, I think they're already that now. I was looking the other day down here at our Walmart, and a 6-pack of eggs. Now, they didn't have a whole lot of eggs on the shelf. They had, you know, plenty, but it wasn't overly stocked. But a 6-pack, I don't know what variety they are, great value, I guess. The blue package of the extra large eggs, a 6-pack. If I'm not mistaken, it was $6 or something for 6 eggs. It's like $6.50 or $6.80. That's a lot of money to pay for eggs. We ate the other day at the Huddle House, and they had a sign up that they had a surcharge, 50 cents per egg. Now, that's on top of what you're already paying for them. So, gardening, I think, is going to have to make a comeback. I don't know what we're going into, whether we're going to go into some kind of recession or depression. But the folks nowadays, they're not ready for it like the people was in the 1920s and 30s. Everybody around in the country back then, they didn't really need a whole lot from stores. There were some commodities that they needed, but they could survive without it. And nowadays, everybody has to have the stores. And when the money dries up and you can't go to the store, you're going to have to find some other way to get it. And in my opinion, gardening and farming is going to be the way it is. So everything we can do right now and grow for ourselves to eat is a little bit of money that we'll be saving in the future. Now on my potatoes, these, you can see they're sprouted. I just throw them in there like that. Now I put them pretty close together. That way, if some of them don't continue sprouting and grow, that I'll still have a good stand. I would rather have to weed a few of them out than to have big skippy places. All right, this upper row here is going to be for our celery and our cabbage. And what I'm going to do is take this rake and just fill this soil back over the top of that row. Now, all of that fertilizer that I cut in will be down under these plants. And that's the best place to have the majority of that fertilizer, is down under them. The deeper down in there, really the better. It'll pull the roots down into the soil to get more minerals. All right, the shadows are starting to get longer. I got our potatoes covered up, and I've got all the celery planted. I hadn't counted to see how many there are yet. We'll count them right quick. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I've got 26 celery plants. And I have no idea how many of those cabbage and stuff I've got. I'm finna take a little break. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm finna have for supper. My buddy Wade told me about cooking one of these one time. And I've always wanted to try one. Well, they had it marked down. You can see it was regular $37. I give $18 for it. I don't know how much it is. 2.6 pounds. It's what they call a tomahawk. I've got it marinating with salt all over it. Well, that's going to be about it for this video, I guess. I'll keep y'all up to date on the garden. We'll walk around through it every few weeks. I've been having trouble with the deer, keeping them out, and I've even seen some rabbit tracks. I bet the rabbits will make it rough on that celery. I'm gonna have to set some traps. But y'all do what y'all can to turn y'all's backyard into the supermarket. Because with things that we may have coming, if nothing else, it'll save you money. And it's a lot better food than what you'll buy at the store. I'm gonna get the grill fired up now. I'm excited to cook this tomahawk. I thank y'all for watching. I pray God blesses you. And I'll see you in the next one.